Hello once again and welcome back to another haphazard production. I'm your host Lance Renard, and for the next several minutes I will be going through some fascinating, entertaining, enlightening, and enjoyable information, and hopefully you'll learn something that you've never learned in my work. I would like to thank all of my new subscribers for joining and for their creative comments, and it helps my direction. I occasionally will become distracted and drift slightly off course, and the comments that you've given me have really helped me to focus, to do more research and become more intense in my work. And so I also the gifts, I mean, thank you for all of the nice gifts that I'm getting in the mail. It's really great. I'm going to be putting some of these to good use. Other ones I can't quite figure out, but I'm sure in time I'll be able to set these or somehow figure them out. So thank you for that. I really want to thank you all. And now I'm going to get down to the issue. In today's issue, apparently I need to open up a folder, go through the folder, and talk about what's in the folder in order for me to have my act together at all. And so in this folder you're going to see some of the fun and funny things that started out this essay, but I'm also going to be bringing up some of the things that I would like to issues that I would like to cover, like the vibratory formula and the people that are covering up the technology, and thank you for the gifts, and Da Vinci's studio. That's an artist's rendition or impression of Da Vinci's. Leonardo, the town of Da Vinci. And looking at the, now I was, for many years I created, I carved and created molds. I've got photographs. I've never been really big on showing everybody my work or works. But doing the research in the electrostatics top to bottom, how things are created, put together, and conversations I've had with friends of mine that talk about the direction of the, what's the real point. The point for me is something that you're able to learn from and use in the future. And this is the Sumerian or Phoenician depictions. It's blessing a tree, or he's going to karate chop that tree. Come here, tree. Come here. I just learned karate. That's a pretty good looking guy. If I didn't know better, which I do, but I mean, these look, there's so much that looks poured, so many, and like pressed in rather than carved in. So many of these. But the foundations of things is very important, how something is anchored in and how far it's going to drop if things liquefy, or you look at building plans, the oldest building plans you can find. This is the principal plan floor of the Capitol, U.S. Capitol, in 1817. Now, if you consider the date in 1817, I won't be able to go on and show you a Capitol building. Well, yeah, one will show up here. And you consider that this plan right here is the basis for the Capitol building. I know I've been in building for construction, wood and steel for 12 years. And I got major wood, but the building, it's a Phoenician piece. It's hard to pass on history when you consider that academia is Wackadamia. But to get back into it, excuse me one moment, when I was talking about the White House and having a plan like that and putting the building together, I couldn't do it with that. I need structural plans. I need broken down, what you're building on. This is sand. It's being built. It's being built on sand. And I'm not sure. Egypt, Cairo. And start thinking about the details of who ran what and when. And here's one of my moldings. Carvings. Well, I didn't carve that in. There was an original and it was broken, and so I put the broken back together, and then I smoothed out, the nose was broken off and a piece of the hair and things. So I fixed it, and then I recreated a new one from the original. And yeah, the pour is interesting. And who runs things, it does boil down a lot to who has the knowledge. And I would like to have this room. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and send me that room, that's fine. I won't argue with all the nice gifts I've received. I shouldn't ask for anything. I should walk out into this field of flowers and then just look across and enjoy. And very often life is like a field of flowers, box of chocolates. There's another building plan. Now looking for the structural details and the breakdown and the information for each of the areas. You can't put together, yeah, you need, going off track again. Well, here once again, this is a interior of a plan of a Roman house restoration. All right, so if you look on the right side, you see the layout. That's nice. All right. But now take a look at all of the intricacies on the roofs, on the sides, the walls, the pillars, the statues. Yeah. Okay, so this fundamental layout in sticks over on the right put together this unbelievably ornate, intricate, and detailed piece building on the left. Yeah, and so if you look at this, it's open in the top, and you've got this square with the little balls on top. But it actually turned out to be all of this ornately carved and intricately, molded or carved. Yeah, there's something a little fishy with that. And just looking at the architecture, and like at the top, all of these column tops, yeah, that was prefabbed. It had to be prefabricated and put piece by piece on there, because if you do construction, you actually put buildings together and you get used to it. You get used to looking at stuff like this, where all of the details are handled, all of the little minor stuff. And then when you want to look at, okay, how the stairway is, you have another plan to look at that's a close-up of the stairway. There's so many different plans that are involved in just one building. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. Fishing lines, 6 sharp points made of sewing pins, and corona motor wire going into the ground. So you ground your motor, that's your negative. Then you run your wire up, that's your positive. And that makes pretty simple sense. And that's stuff you can use, if you want to put something together, check it out. Or this whole molding and crafting. Sure, yeah. If I were big enough and pouring these out, just highly unlikely, in my opinion, that somebody actually sat there and carved out all these little leaves on each one of these and each one of those and each one of these just to hold up a wall. And then, no, I'm kind of thinking they were pouring with a polymer, in my opinion, and they were pretty big. These things, the people were not small, because to handle that, put it together. Of course, they may have had horses and buggies, and that would have made a huge difference. I'd like this place. If anyone wants to check out the price of that and get back to me, or just pick it up, and I'll get you back for it. No, I don't want to owe anybody. It's fine. Just keep it. Nice old place, though. But the foundation is once again the issue. The foundations of where things are put together. Whoops. Sorry about that. And then we've got, that was another gift, by the way. Thank you for that. My mom is going to love that one. So this is not an actual depiction. This is a fantasy town, I'm pretty sure. But it's cool. I like it. And thank you. Once again, thank you, everybody, for the broken glass. It's wonderful. I got some on the floor right now. It's really helping out. There's a building plan also that is curious. It's an actual building plan. Once again, man, I'm out there with my lumber or whatever material I'm going to be using, and I get this as a building plan. I'm like, Okay, well, I don't really have too high of expectations on the time I'm going to finish it, or what it's going to look like, please, or what the roof's even. I mean, nah, somebody's really. I think they're covering up the basics. They're covering up a lot. They, whoever they is, and of course, this is a foundation. I wasn't into pouring foundations. I was a guy that put everything else up on the foundations, or whether it was wood or steel. I didn't ever deal with anything but those two. I like this carving to a degree. I'm still, once again, on the Phoenician kick, or informational details of the Phoenicians fondling this thing, bush, sacred tree, that is. Really looks strange for a tree. I mean, those guys look normal. They look like people, guys, beards, hair, you know. This guy's got the earring, and the other guy's got a couple of pipes in his pocket. I mean, they're cool guys. But the tree? What the? Okay, maybe it's just me. Probably just me. I love these things, these rows or wheel windows. The resonation they put out. I could just be silent. You could stare at it and just get all this. And you're like, yeah, I wish you would be silent. Shut up. But yeah, I'll just let you know what I'm thinking, and I'm going to check out the bottom here real quick. Get ultra boring on you. Let's see here. What is this going on? Église de Saint-Gone and Hamna. I didn't know I spoke Cherokee, but that's a pretty nice looking window, in my opinion. And this is City Hall in Harlem, Netherlands. And that's quite, you know, and there are all these wonderful structures that are post offices and water towers and city halls that are, you know, curious. Then you get the plans for like the Colosseum, and you go, okay, well, that's what they had to work with. And then you go take a look at the Colosseum, and you can you think for a second, wait a second, if you know building and you're looking at the building plans, it's freaky. You're like, what the what? We can't build that with this. Might as well give me a piece of toilet paper and say, okay, go build me a, you know. Ish. But some plans were pretty ornate, pretty cool. The overall layout of things, you know, you get your church here, your cloister there. This is a seminary area, sort of thing, and yeah. Yeah, nice plans, but I still don't have the details that I would need to create the masterful, thank you very much, masterful structures. The Illuminati's got us all. I don't know. I mean, yeah, of course, there's this control factor that we need to be aware of, and as I've mentioned in the past, the paranoia will destroy you. I got trucks in this one, so this is not an old layout, but the fundamental layouts are commonly just pencil sketches and, you know, roughed out. But when you get into the final details, like this one, kind of rough, but I like that cat, man. Is that a cat? Yeah, it's a cat. Okay. They get sketched out rough, and then they can break down. They break down more and more. Like this is ductwork system. I'd imagine these are 5 or 6 inch pipes over here, these 3 in top, and then you got your 10-inch or 8-inch pipes coming in the back of this. And I never actually put in ductwork, but I understand the fundamentals of it. And that's the thing for you guys too. I mean, you don't need to know construction. You can look at the fundamentals of things and go, oh yeah, it's kind of like air. The air goes through here, and then it goes to the different rooms through each one of these pipes, and you know, that's just fundamental ductwork. No big deal. You can look at stuff and get an idea. This is a Phoenician symbol, and it is curious as to the similarity to the eagle with, you know, the arrows in one and the shield in the other, and the eagle. And it goes back quite a ways. And that dating thing, man, where people are like, that goes back 20 billion years, and the Earth is 100 trillion years old, and all their crap. I don't buy that. I don't buy that stuff at all. No way, Jose. This I buy, because you can prove it. and you go with that carbon dating. You know what? They've taken people's toenails and they've been carbon dated to 2,000 years old. They've taken a live duck and carbon dated it to 8,000 years old. I mean, it's just preposterous. Carbon dating is just an excuse to say that we are 100 billion years old, and your tooth is dust from an asteroid, 100 trillion years old. And yeah, let's all buy that. Now this Melbourne, this is a nice layout, and it actually gets down into some of the kind of detail that I was interested in seeing. It's still very fundamental though. If you take this plan right here, and you've got the vestibule, you've got, you know, specifics, all right, that could have been drawn after the building, but whatever. This is apparently some kind of contest. But we are going to look at this building, massive complex here in a bit. I'll just find it. You know, my controls have been a little glitchy lately, and it kind of makes me wonder. There you go. There's that building we were just looking at. So you take that rough cut plan we just looked at, this Melbourne Law Courts, and you look at the beautiful structure on this building. This is another angle of it, that building right there. And you go back to that drawing, and you're like, what? You took that drawing, okay, and you made that building from it? Okay, you guys are pretty good. I mean, you a whole lot. It seems to me more likely that the building was found, you know, Freemasonry, and they drew a picture of it afterwards. Is more likely to me. I'd like to see some construction shots of this, and I have been looking for those, and I'm not finding them. I will continue to look. These are fairly obvious into what they would be used for if you've seen any of my past data, detail, and info. I like these misty sketches. Damascus Gate. Damascus? No. Damascus. No, dumbass. Well, whatever. Kuhafi, pardon my mispronunciation of your place. If you live in Damascus, I don't know any Damascuses, but I do know a lot of, you know, yeah. So atmospheric electricity, the phenomena is cool. It's cool, it's provable, it's evidentiary. And that's, I think, what's important is what we can do with the knowledge that we have. Thank you again. Thank you for all my new subscribers. I really, really can't. And I'm so much more intense than I used to be because of that. And this is also the Melbourne layout. It's, what can I say? It's amazing looking. And look at the aging on that building. I mean, yeah, it's 30 billion years old. And yeah, okay. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Apologize for that. And this is a Paris Opera House. It's quite an elaborate and meticulous. And I love that hat again, man. And this guy's just, you know, he's wasting the hat. He's not even put waste of a good hat. But now he's just tipping his hat to a lady. Says, "Hello, ma'am. Thank you." It's nice, nice. The kids and everything, but all of the details here. And okay, I suppose I had a stick drawing to make this one. There's a little stick drawing of little pokey holes in the top, and then they threw in all of these Greco-Roman architectural details and Corinthian columns, and you know, I'm just really, yeah. What kind of columns should we put in those poke holes? Well, let's go ahead and throw up a couple of these. Have Joey grab his tool and carve out a couple of these for us, and have Mary do these kinds with the skulls and faces on them. I like those. They're good for Halloween columns. And yeah, right. So I do like to consider some of these details. I mean, the size of the doors down below. Now, what's the... Oh, that's a window. Window. Oh, I beg your pardon. There's a door. St. Michael, Munich. Doorway in 1596. I wonder, you know, there's no real size, relation, dimension. I wonder what 6 feet tall would be standing next to that door. I think 6 feet tall would be, that guy's head would be right about at the doorknob. So it's always important to make doors that are 3 times the size of the people that are living there. I'm into that. Yeah, as a construction professional, structural engineer, you really don't buy it. And this is the Martin Liedtke way of telling the truth right here. And I'm a big advocate of the fact that there is a faceless bunch, and I think it's these guys too. And I have never, I mean, he brought it up. Yeah, there you go. There's Martin. Perfect man. And thanks for the gifts, guys. I'm going to wear that around the house. And that I just put in a drawer. But the foundations of things need to be considered. The wiring and, you know, the electromagnetics of things. Now, these things, these big stones, megaliths, etc., don't believe personally that they would have carried an energy. Right? I am familiar with the vibratory formula in a human being, and I do work with it daily. This is a different type of vibratory formula right here. And I always wondered when I was a kid why you would have a weather vane on top of your barn. I mean, you can't tell which direction the wind's blowing. You gotta, I can't see it if I look out the window. And so, yeah, that's a good justification to put those up top. Or even, you know, something like a cross would be a good idea to stick up there. Cross or weather vane, always a good idea to sidetrack the issues and keep people from, you know, knowing what they could have, be able to use. And also, it's a big boost to your own energy level if you are able to create, to figure something out and go, hey, I can make something with, you know what, I can go put something together with that. Right. So that's just the facts. And these moments of consideration with the foundations and the moorings and how things are locked in and anchored in, and the fluctuations, and whether or not below us there are civilization after civilization after civilization. And how far would you have to dig down? Now, I drilled water wells for a good number of years, and thanks for that gift. I'm going to put that to some good use. And while I was drilling water wells, we would go down up in the northern territory around North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, those farmlands in that area that needed to put in irrigation systems. And we would go down 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 maybe. The really deep ones we'd do 80s. And a lot of the time I'd have to go down there. No, I'm not going to tell you about all that stuff, but yeah, the mud, getting caught in the mud was kind of an issue. And how far you would have to dig to hit the next civilization, I'm thinking 40 feet. That's what I'm thinking. And yeah, it's not, I mean, you may find stuff, I mean, so much has been, you know, dilapidated and degraded and decayed and turned into dirt, but there's a lot of metal that you can find. So I say we all grab shovels and get to digging. Get to digging, kids. Or yeah, grab this. Hey, the guy, instead of sending me this, why don't you just stick it in your backyard and pop out a nice crater and then check it out? You know, you only have to dig down another 30 feet, but these are the minor details in our lives. And all right, I'm going to sign out. Oh, sorry about that. I'll try not to show violent pictures again. I'm going to sign off with this. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe when you have time. And if you don't have time, that's okay. I don't either. You have a great day now. We'll talk to you soon, hopefully.